Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday morning to you all. Hope you guys are feeling well this morning. We've had a great weekend out there so far. I got you an update on what is likely going to occur weather-wise for today. It's going to be probably a much more active day compared to your Saturday. So we're going to give you a breakdown of what's likely going to happen. Last day of the month, about to move on to August. Still very hot in the month of August, as we all know, especially here in the South, but we're just one step closer to those cooler months. For some folks, that's September. For others, it's October before it cools down. But hopefully here in about a month or so, we can start to see signs of those first cold fronts of the year if you are a cooler weather fan like I am. Some people just like the really hot weather, so not all of us are the same. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate the support. You guys got anything that I can pray about, pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's get rolling this morning. Water vapor loop, upper trough swinging through up here in the northern section of the U.S. This will promote some severe weather. A little bit later this afternoon for areas in Minnesota, even big cities like Minneapolis could see a round of severe storms. I don't think this is going to be widespread in nature. I think you will have one opportunity basically to see a broken line of severe storms that moves through the city and surrounding areas. We'll talk about that in this video. Stalled boundary just keeps meandering throughout the area, just kind of pivoting one way, pivoting the other. This will actually provide a small chance for a tornado in areas of North Carolina and Virginia. Very small chance, but there will be a boundary set up where a warm front will be lifted up into the area. So there's actually a very, like I said, a small chance, but there is a chance, and I'll show you that here on the Storm Prediction Center here in a second. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then I think the main story is the fact that we're going to have flooding that will become another issue again across areas like eastern Kentucky that saw the catastrophic flooding earlier last week. So we'll talk about that. I think the rain will become much more widespread for this area. So we're definitely going to probably break that down here in the beginning of the video. But the Storm Prediction Center, here it is. This is that marginal risk. I wouldn't be surprised if someone might get upgraded to a slight risk, but for now you just got a marginal risk, a level 1 out of 5. This includes Charlotte, Raleigh, up to Virginia Beach, every small town in between and city. So, really, you look at this, and, I don't want to forget about this. There's a slight risk for Minneapolis and surrounding areas. Tornado risk, a 2% chance. You normally don't see a 2% chance in a marginal risk, and I think it's driven off that, honestly. But it just goes to show you that there's going to be enough back winds in this area, enough of a spin with a boundary that's probably going to lift up into the North Carolina-Virginia border. That's going to create basically a divergence, or just a kind of an area where two wind directions are going to be going two different directions. So obviously that's going to cause a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. So a storm or two could ride that boundary, and there actually could be an isolated tornado or two. So we'll definitely watch out for that a little bit later. Wind threat, 15% chance of damaging winds up here in 25 miles in a given location. I think that'll be the biggest threat up here. Hail threat will also be the same threat level, same area up here for sure. Excessive rainfall outlook. This is a big story today. You got a huge slight risk. I said at least a 15% chance to see flash flood guidance being met in this area, 25 miles in a given location. But look at this little small moderate risk in that same area that saw the terrible flooding that I think killed over 20 people. This is going to become another issue today across eastern, southeastern Kentucky, where I think, I'm about to show you here in a second, where I think widespread rains will develop here later this morning and early this afternoon, will continue through the evening hours. So that is at least a 40% chance of flash flood guidance being met, which will easily be met in this area if you continue to get waves of showers and storms that go over the same area. But check out these flood watches up right here for these areas. And then you still got like a flash flood warning right here. I'm sorry, a flood warning right here, where these rivers are still overflowing for all that rain that we got a few days ago. So this is going to be an issue today. We need to just be mindful, and hopefully it doesn't materialize as bad as it potentially can. So here we go. Let's look at the entire region right here. So we'll take a look at the HRRR model, and we'll go through here in time to make sure that we have the latest and greatest information. And here it is. We'll start this off this morning. We'll continue to work our way closer to lunchtime. And here it is. Widespread showers and storms developing in central Kentucky, south of Lexington, Kentucky, for example. You already got storms developing Even a lot of showers and storms in and around the central and eastern areas of Tennessee. Nashville to Knoxville could certainly see a lot of rains even before noon. This will continue to develop, and I mean, check it out. You got widespread rains. These are downpours. Will they be severe? There's a chance they will be. But really just look at the idea that there is going to be a lot of showers and storms in eastern Kentucky as we're approaching the 1 to 2 p.m. afternoon kind of time frame here in this area. And even down here in Tennessee, there's going to be a flooding risk. There's just going to be widespread showers and storms stretching from Nashville up here to eastern Kentucky, all the way up to Charleston, West Virginia, through southwest Virginia, and through the entire spine of the southern Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. So this is going to be a wet afternoon for these areas and potentially dangerous in southeast Kentucky again. And this continues as we get into the mid to latter part of the afternoon. And then, who knows how much rain can fall. Some of these storms will start to drift into the same areas that's been hit a lot over the last 7 days, and the Triad, Piedmont, and North Carolina, and then it will become widespread in coverage in Virginia also. These storms, once they get over here, there will be intense heating. The atmosphere will be highly unstable. So these storms are going to take advantage of, an unstable atmosphere in this region. So this is when they have a chance to become severe in this region of the country here. So how much rain can fall between now and Monday morning? Well, this is the National Weather Service. I mean, look at this. In this dark red area, that is potentially 2 to 3 inches of rain. We don't need that, especially quickly. If we get it quickly, we're going to have another, hopefully not a catastrophic event. I'm not going to call for that, but we're going to have a dangerous threat of flash flooding occurring in this region if we get this rain very quickly. But even into eastern Tennessee, southwest Virginia, this is a lot of rain showing up for these areas. But here it is, the epicenter of the heaviest rain at southeast Kentucky, where we do not need it. Where 1 to as much as maybe 4 inches of rain can fall sometime between now, later this afternoon, overnight tonight. So let's hope this just does not materialize like it potentially could. But that's just a heads up for that area if you're viewing in and around that area. Let's talk about Virginia, North Carolina, maybe even South Carolina here. Take a look at the NAM here, which I think will be more correct for this area. I think the coverage and storms will be very widespread. But here you go. You're getting into about the mid-afternoon time frame. Widespread showers and storms develops. Here we go. There's going to be a boundary somewhere in here. You're not going to see it on this, but somewhere in here there's going to be some kind of boundary where winds are going to be moving in a different direction on each side of the boundary. So some of these storms might develop around that boundary, and you're going to have a spin in the atmosphere that might provide enough of that spin to create a tornado threat. So Raleigh, be careful. Up into the Virginia border, into southern sections of Virginia. There's going to be severe storms regardless, I think widespread later this afternoon and this evening. But be careful of that isolated tornado threat. If you look at the NAM, these storms will be very widespread, almost to the point where they're just a congealed area of storms. But I think they'll be discreet enough that they'll be their own individual storms. But it's going to be very stormy across the eastern half of North Carolina, especially today. So we'll watch out for that. But please be careful. Have a way to get alerts. I would not plan any outdoor activities as far as being on a body of water. If you're in eastern North Carolina today, I really wouldn't. I think it's pointless, but y'all do what y'all want to do. But I think today is a good day to just, have that reliable radar downloaded on your phone. Let's talk about the north central U.S., a more broader view. Here it is, that mid-level upper trough swings through. This creates an area, a broken line of showers and storms that will probably develop quick enough to where it affects areas like Minneapolis. So I think sometime around later this evening, probably 6, 7 p.m., you guys are probably going to get hit by maybe some strong to severe storms. This line of storms continues to move through, enters Wisconsin, southeast areas of Minnesota, even northeast areas of Iowa. And then they'll be strong very briefly for maybe a 1 to 3 hour period in western areas of Wisconsin. And then they'll start to break up and then start to enter the UP of Michigan, eastern areas of Wisconsin, as just maybe a storm or two overnight for you folks. Might get some showers a little bit later tonight into probably well after midnight. This is when this area of energy will probably swing through. But not expecting anything significant once it gets in this area of the country. The NAM, more widespread for the southeast in general. I think the epicenter of the most active weather is going to be in this area. Everybody outside this area, I think just an isolated storm or two. Some showers and storms are certainly possible for areas of southern Missouri, northern Arkansas again today, where y'all ended up with a lot of rain over the last several days. And then an isolated storm or two still possible a little bit later this evening across areas. In fact, we watch a little bit later this evening across Tennessee, where maybe a more defined round of storms moves through the entire state of Tennessee. But everybody else, I think Florida will be quiet today, and I think really it's driven off the Saharan dust. It's starting to hit the area again, that wave we talked about, a more intense Saharan dust, more thick is what I'm trying to say, is actually going to affect y'all's weather, as it already has been the last couple of days. And I think it'll just be, you're not going to see many showers and storms today, because that is actually going to dry out the atmosphere. So, yeah, like I said, most active weather is going to be in this section of the southeast, mid-Atlantic, mid-south today. The northeast, I think there will be widespread storms in Virginia, West Virginia, areas of Maryland, and then I think some just light to moderate rain, maybe a storm or two will enter the rest of Maryland into southern PA a little bit later, and then some showers might actually drift as far north as New York State, maybe New York City a little bit later this evening. I'm talking about once you put the kids down, dinner's already through. And we're starting to get into the overnight hours. But the rest of the Northeast, pretty quiet day today. Not a whole lot going on. The South Central U.S., a little bit of glitch going on there. Here we go. You're already dealing with some showers this morning in Oklahoma. This will continue to drift into Arkansas. And, after that, after we get into the afternoon, evening hours, I think maybe a shower or two in Oklahoma. Like I said, some showers and storms are possible here, probably earlier this afternoon in northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. But no rain when we need it the most in the heart of Texas, unfortunately. So hopefully we can get something to get y'all rain soon. Temperatures today, pretty hot. I think a 100-degree reading or two is certainly possible in southern South Carolina and eastern areas, far eastern and southeast areas of Georgia. It's going to be hot in Florida due to just no showers and storms to cool you guys off in the afternoon hours. Hot again in areas of Texas, over 100 degrees in certain areas. And I think you guys are going to warm up again today. But there'll be a boundary where it'll just be cooler to rain-cooled air in this portion of the country, Kentucky, West Virginia, southern Ohio, and just typical summer conditions in the rest of the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region, in the Midwest, with temperatures in the 80s widespread. A little bit cooler up here in the northern section of Minnesota and North Dakota. And just a typical summer day in the Northeast. But that's all I got, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. You'll have a great Sunday. And I'll probably talk to y'all again probably Monday morning. I won't have time to make a video tonight. But when we get into August, I'm going to start to drop more videos daily, as far as two-a-days again. Just to kind of go on and get used to doing those two-a-days, because I think it's inevitable that we will get a peak in hurricane season as we get into the later part of August. So God bless all y'all. Have a great Sunday.